Hi friends, welcome back to our chapter reading. Today we are picking back up with The Trouble with Chickens by Doreen Cronin and illustrated by Kevin Cornell. So we're picking up today in chapter 17. It's called Dog in the Can. I woke up behind bars. Either something had gone terribly wrong or I was back in Detroit. I jumped to my feet and tried to get my bearings. It was dark outside. A clock ticked. A faucet leaked. Plop, tick, plop, tock, plop, tick. I was locked inside a dog crate in the kitchen. Vince was outside the crate. Inside dog, outside dog. Interesting twist. He had a chick on either side like a set of dusty bookends. The rest of the flock was behind him. "It's about time," said one of the bookends. "Poppy and Sweetie, I presume," I snarled. My mind was spinning, but my eyes were steady. I set them on Moosh. She met my eyes. I knew there wasn't a single chicken in that room I could trust. "It was a trick. He used us to lure you," she stammered. "I'm done with you, Millicent," I interrupted. She winced when I called her by her real name. I took my eyes off Moosh and planted them on Vince. "Doesn't seem like anybody here needs rescuing," I said. Poppy and Sweetie giggled nervously. "They got themselves in here. They can get themselves out," answered Vince. "That's more than I can say for you," added Poppy. Uh-oh. Poor JJ doesn't look very happy. I bared my teeth. Poppy backed away from the bars, but he was right. The door of the cage was locked with a sliding bolt. I had no idea how I was going to get out. Moosh gathered up her chicks and left the room without a word. Vince sauntered over to his water bowl by the refrigerator. Now that his giant funnel was out of the way, I could see the note hanging on the fridge. "Dog walker, please take Vince to his vet appointment at 2 p.m. Monday. He will be getting ear tubes and staying at the animal hospital. Thank you, Barb." I was on my way to the vet for ear tubes. I had to get out of that cage. I've pulled people out of all kinds of places, cars, caves, crevices, and sewer pipes. But not once had I come across a lock. I needed a plan, but my head still hurt. Plop, tick, plop, tock, plop, tick. I needed a nap. I was trying to come up with a plan inside that cage. Chapter 18, Encyclopedia Chickenia. "You okay?" came a tiny voice. I saw a pretty pair of wings. Unless my fairy godmother was a chicken, it was nobody I wanted to talk to. "You okay?" she repeated. It was Sugar. I didn't answer her. I turned my back and closed my eyes. When I opened them, the sun was setting. Sugar was still there. "Shouldn't you be long gone by now?" I asked. "Vince said it's safer if we wait until dark," she said. "Safer for whom?" I asked. She didn't answer. I had no idea why I was even talking to her. But when you're in a cage, you can't be picky about your company. "How did I get in here?" I asked. "You jumped over the couch, landed against the wall, and knocked yourself out cold," she answered. "But how did I get in the cage?" I asked. "Vince made us line up the recycle bottles and we rolled you in," she said. Vince wasn't as dumb as he looked. We didn't speak for a minute. Then I continued my line of questioning. "Who grabbed you off the bird bath?" I asked. "I got myself off the bird bath." "How?" I asked. "Chickens can't fly." "Sure we can. Not very well, but enough to get off a bird bath." "I don't believe you." "You should read more," she said. I turned my back on her again. "Maybe if you read a book, you would know that we actually can fly short distances. Sometimes we fly to rendezvous with other chickens, usually to flee danger." My ears perked up. "You don't say." She came right up to the cage. "Sometimes it behooves breeders to have our wings clipped." "You don't say." For all I cared, she had just recited the small print off the bottom of a mattress tag. All I heard from her rant was blah, 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 rendezvous, blah, 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 behoove. Those are some familiar words, aren't they? Chapter 19, Show and Tell. "You wrote the notes," I said to Sugar. Sugar took another step toward the cage, careful to not get too close. "Did not." "Did." "Did not." did. Did not. It was like a game of ping pong. I hate ping pong. Spill it, Sugar, a voice piped up. Moosh stepped out of the kitchen shadows, all the color drained from Sugar's face. She instinctively took a step back from the trouble coming her way. I had 1 second to act. I sucked my breath in through my nose as hard as I could. Uh-oh. Sugar was dragged right between the two bars and stuck to my nose like a stray sock on a freshly dried towel. I had no idea what I was going to do with her. It was Moosh's turn to come up to the cage. I thought she'd come to rescue Sugar. I was wrong. JJ's right, she said. I knew it as soon as I saw the note. Aha! I knew she knew more than she said she knew when she knew it. It explained her bouncing left foot. It wasn't a tap or a tick, it was a tell. A tell is something people do when they're lying. In Moosh's case, it was something she did when she knew more than she said she knew when she knew it. Moosh stuck her beak through the bars. I'm waiting, she said. I wrote it, Sugar confessed. I sent Poppy and Sweetie into the house, but I had to make it look like Vince took them. Why in the world would you do that? Moosh asked. For the books, Sugar answered. What books? Moosh said. We don't have any books. Look around, Moosh. This house is filled with books, I said. Moosh's eyes got big and wide. Vince said I had to help him get JJ into the house or he wouldn't let me back in to read the books, Sugar added. Look at all those books inside the house. They do have a lot of books. Finally, Moosh understood that Sugar had been coming and going to this house for a long time. You faked a kidnapping? With Vince the funnel? Moosh raised her voice so high I thought she might cough up a vocal cord. Vince promised me he wouldn't hurt them. He let them watch TV. Moosh considered this for a second. Vince forced you to write those notes, she said. Actually, they were my idea, said Sugar. I had to make sure you went to JJ for help. That's enough, a voice interrupted. Vince had come into the kitchen with Poppy and Sweetie in tow. I should have known you'd sing like a bird, he growled at Sugar. I am a bird, she chirped. Vince bared his teeth. You're lucky you're in that cage. He turned to me. Congratulations, Hero Dog. You figured it out. Vince snickered. But you're still in a cage. And you're still going to the vet to get ear tubes. You can thank your little chicken family for that. So there's Vince coming out. I charged the front door of the cage as hard as I could. The door didn't budge. When I got back on my feet, the chickens were gone. Vince got as close to the cage as the funnel would let him. So who rescues the rescue dog? He asked. Don't you think your dog walker is going to notice that I'm not you? Regular guy's gone for the holiday. His cousin is filling in. Never seen me before, he answered. You've got a bigger problem, I added. What's that? When Barb gets back, she's going to know the wrong dog got the tubes, I said. Yeah, but she's not going to care, he said. Why's that? She's going to be too upset over the demise of her pet chickens, and she's going to blame you. Sugar made a very strange noise right before she fainted. I had forgotten she was still in the cage with me. So, apparently, had Vince. Don't even bother trying to warn them, he sneered. The doggy door is controlled by the black tag on my collar. They can't get out unless I let them out. He was still snickering when he left the room. So that's what that funny black tag on his collar was for. I thought it was the on-off switch for the lamp. I needed more information from Sugar. One good dose of dog breath was all it took to wake her up. All this for a book? I asked. It's a really good book, she whispered. Then she fainted again. All right, friends, we're going to stop there for today. Join me back next time and we will finish up this book. See ya.